Hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Today we are going to start one of your important chapter from the bio, that is life processes. Okay.
Okay.
So look the chapter name, life processes. Two terms are there, life and processes. What do you mean by life? Life means living organism. Life means living
Living organ.
organism. We don't consider the non-living thing. In this chapter we are going to learn everything that is related to life. Life means living things. Life means living things. Then what do you mean by living things? But what are the character that differentiated a living from non-living? Just a minute, I am showing you one image. Look, here are some diagram. Here are some diagram. In one side, desk bench, mobile, car, and table. In another side, human beings. This is amoeba. This is amoeba, dog, and it is a plant. Look, in the left hand side, all these pictures are example of all non-living. In the right hand side, all these are example of living things. Sir, how these two are different? How these two are different? How you know these are living things? These are non-living things. These are living things. Okay, because our chapter name is life processes. To understand life processes, first we have to understand what do you mean by life, na? Okay, so here you look some of the character of a life, some of the character of a living organism, like movement, initial is movement. You know, living organism can move from one place to another or move their body part.
Yes, sir.
If you consider animal can move from one place to another place, from place A to place B. But if you consider plant cannot move from one place to another place, but it can move their body part, na? Like when heavy wind is blowing, that time plant leaf is blooming, na? It's sucking on the air, na? Okay. So next thing, respiration. Okay, you can ask, sir, car is moving from one place to another place, na? Is it a living? A car is moving, na? But
Yes, sir.
movement means by its own, not by the help of anyone. Okay, suppose you want to go from your place to your house, your school. You can able to go now by your own.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, but think, without a driver, a car can move.
No.
You understand now?
Yes.
Then here we are learning character of a living organism. Then respiration. You know what do you mean by respiration? Respiration means living organism release energy from food through respiration. We all require energy. Our body require energy.
Energy.
To fulfill this energy, we eat food, and from the food we releases energy, that is called respiration. It is a process. Okay.
Huh.
Then sensitivity. What do you mean by sensitivity? Living organism can feel and respond to change in their surroundings. Suppose now you are inside a room. Suppose the line is gone. You feel warm. You feel hot. What you do? You come out from the room now. Try to go there where air is available. That is called sensitivity. So that is called sensitivity. Like in plant, touch will not a plant. When you touch that plant, the plant leaves are closed. Okay.
Close.
Both plant and animal having sensitivity. It may be different, it may be little bit different, but both having sensitivity. Growth, you know growth. Okay,
Yes.
5 years back, your height and your weight is less than today's height and weight, na?
Huh.
That is called growth. In animal, after certain time, the growth means growth of the animal should be stopped, but plant can grow throughout their life. Okay. Then reproduction means it is a process through which a living organism produce young ones, like from your parents to you. Okay, this is not available in non-living case. Excretion means, look, we are eating some food. Okay, releasing energy from that food, but some waste material are forming, na? because inside our body thousands of lakhs of uh, reaction takes place. So from that reaction waste material is forming na.
Hmm.
We have to remove that waste material na. That is called excretion. Okay, all living organisms performing excretion. Then second thing, sir, we release energy from food. We release waste from the food, but in which process we are taking food? That is called nutrition. Okay, nutrition means it is a process through which we intake food and utilizing that food. Okay, now you understand. It is not your chapter concept, but for your revision purpose I am saying. Okay,
Okay.
what are the characteristics? What are the characteristics of a living organism? You have to remember mistress grain. M stands for movement, R stands for respiration, A stands for sensitivity, G stands for growth, R stands for reproduction, E stands for excretion, N stands for nutrition. These are some characteristics which is available uh, in living organism and which is missing in non-living organism. Okay.
Huh. Huh.
Then come to our chapter. Our chapter name is life processes. Now you understand what I mean by life.
Hmm.
Then sir, what do you mean by processes? Processes means those are the basic activity. Basic. Just wait, I'm showing you the note. Okay, huh? Life processes. Life processes are the basic and essential activity. This is basic. Like for a student, note, pen. These are the basic things. Okay, an essential activity performed by a living organism to sustain and maintain their lives. Listen, to maintain and sustain life of a living organism, a living organism performs some processes. That process is called the life processes. Okay, hello.
Okay.
Huh.
Huh.
These processes help organisms survive, grow, and live properly. Why they perform this type of processes? Because to survive, grow, live properly, living organism perform this life processes. Particularly in this chapter, the many life processes are there, like nutrition, like respiration, transportation, excretion, reproduction. Okay, several life processes are there, but in this chapter we are focusing on four life processes: nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion. Okay,
Excellent.
four major processes we have to learn. Sir, what do you mean by nutrition? Taking food and utilizing food. Sir, what do you mean by respiration? In presence of oxygen we have to break that food to make energy. Okay,
Huh.
sir, what do you mean by transportation? Look, transportation means several things we have to transport from one part of the body to another part of the body, na?
Hmm.
This is happening by this processes, transportation. Excretion means removing the waste material. This is the basic understanding, but several things are there. Day by day we will cover all of the things. Okay,
Okay.
look sir, all living organisms are performing this life processes. Sir, all are same in the process, mean the method are same. All the processes to perform that processes, the method are not same in all living organism. Okay, look,
Hmm.
all living organism performs life processes, but the method is different. Different.
Different.
How different? Look, suppose I'm telling about one method, that is respiration. That is
Respiration.
respiration. What do you mean by respiration? Respiration means in presence of oxygen we have to break the food. We have to break the food. And remember, when our bigger substance is breaking, energy is released. Okay,
Released.
to do this, look, in nutrition we make our food, but we require oxygen, na? Because for respiration two things are necessary. One is oxygen, one is food.
Food.
Food is already inside our body by one method, that is called nutrition, but that is called the
Nutrition.
nutrition. but
Nutrition.
but we have to take the oxygen, na?
Yes, sir.
Look, in human beings, what I am telling, all the living organism performing life processes, but the method are different. Suppose What does it mean? Suppose 4 students are there. Every student try to go there, go to school. Okay? Main intention going to school. Main intention going to school. Someone, suppose the student 1 go to school by walking. Okay? वो पैदल चला गया. Someone go by bicycle. Someone go by car. Someone go by bus. Look, method are different, but the main intention is the same, na?
Yes.
Like these, the all living organism performing life process, but the method are different. For understanding this, I am giving you one example. Respiration. Look, respiration means taking oxygen. Look, in human beings, we have nose to take the oxygen and to release the carbon dioxide. But if you come to plant, they don't have nose. They having
Yes.
stomata. They having
Stomach.
stomata. Through stomata, they intake oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Release carbon dioxide. Okay. Then amoeba. Amoeba is a single cellular organism. Single cellular organism. What do you mean by single cellular organism? Amoeba body is made up of a single cell. But if you consider human beings, our body is made up of a million trillion number of a cell. But if you focus on amoeba, amoeba body is made up of a single cell. Single cell. Think, if one organism having single cell, is it possible they having nose, they having stomata? No, na. So they get oxygen by a process called diffusion. They get oxygen by a process called diffusion, because all living organisms need oxygen, na, to perform respiration. Here happening by nose, here happening by stomata, but in case of amoeba, it is happening by diffusion. Diffusion means movement of a substance from higher concentration to lower concentration. From higher concentration to lower concentration. Diffusion is a process through which a substance is moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. What does it mean? Suppose in a bucket of water, I am putting one ink. After few seconds, you will look, the ink is mixing with that water properly. How it happens? Due to diffusion. Okay? Diffusion means the outside of the environment, oxygen is high, na? The concentration of oxygen is high. Inside the amoeba body, the concentration of oxygen is low, na? So through diffusion process, oxygen is moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. You understand? Here the main intention is, sir, all living organism perform several action, several processes to sustain their life. That is called life processes. But the method is different in different organism. Okay? Then move to look. Then in this chapter, I am using two terms repeatedly. One is metabolism, one is metabolism, anabolism, catabolism. These three terms I am going to use repeatedly in this chapter. Then what do you mean by metabolism? What do you mean by anabolism? And what do you mean by catabolism? Look, in our body, several processes are happening now. Several chemical processes, like foods are forming, foods are going to digest. Then in presence of oxygen, food are break down to form energy. That means in our body, in a living organism body, several chemical reactions are occurring. That is called metabolism. Okay? Metabolism is nothing but chemical reaction that occurs inside our body. Then, sir, the question is, sir, why this chemical reaction is occurring inside our body? Same thing. For grow, get energy, repair cell, and maintain life. Okay? These metabolic reaction by metabolism or metabolic reaction are of two types. How many types? Two types. One is anabolism, one is anabolism or anabolic reaction or anabolic
Reaction.
anabolic reaction. Catabolism or catabolic reaction. Catabolic reaction. Sir, what do you mean by anabolism? Anabolism is the process in which
Hmm.
larger molecules are formed from smaller molecules. Means, look, inside our body some smaller molecules are there, they are combined together to make a bigger molecule. These are smaller molecules, these are smaller molecules,
Molecule.
smaller molecule combined together to form a larger molecule, that is called anabolism. Okay, and you remember, when smaller molecules are combined together to form larger molecules, look, larger molecules are formed from smaller molecules, they requires energy. Remember, for performing anabolism we requires energy. Okay,
Energy.
it helps in growth and the repair of the body. Then why this anabolism process occurring in our body? To help in growth and repair of the body. Only remember, from smaller thing, smaller molecule, bigger molecule are forming, that is called anabolism. And when smaller molecules are combined together, they require energy, they require energy.
Energy.
One of the example is formation of a protein from amino acid, we will later discuss on. Okay, how amino acid is forming from the protein. Okay,
Huh.
then coming to catabolism. Catabolism is exactly opposite to anabolism. In anabolism, smaller molecules are mixing to form a bigger molecules, but here one bigger molecules is break down into smaller molecules.
Molecule.
A larger molecules are broken down into smaller molecules. Remember, when we perform anabolism we require energy, but when we perform catabolism we release energy. Okay,
Hmm.
it provide energy for body activity. If you look anabolism, anabolism is required for growth and repair of the body. But if you look catabolism, it is required for energy, required for, it provide energy. It is
Energy.
happening for growth and repair of the body, but catabolism is happening due to provide energy to our body. And remember, few seconds ago we discussed about respiration na? Respiration is one of the example of a catabolism. You understand what I mean by anabolism and what I mean by catabolism?
Huh.
Okay, then come to our chapter fast life processes, that is nutrition. That is nutrition. Sir, what do you mean by nutrition? Look, definition of nutrition. Nutrition is the process by which a living organism derives food and utilizing the food. Otherwise we can say taking the food, taking the food
Food.
and utilizing the food. Sir, on above we study that our body requires energy. To fulfill that energy we require food, and
Hmm.
the process through which we take food, we derive food. Derive food means some organism are there, they make their food by their own. Some organism are there, they dependent on other organism for their food. Okay,
Food.
and what do you mean by utilizing the food? Utilizing the food means the food which we eat that does not directly used by our body. Suppose we eat rice. Are you thinking this rice our body can directly consume directly, but it for using it should be converted into simple substance, it should be converted into simple substance, that is nothing but called digestion. Okay,
Huh.
so nutrition cover two things: derives of food. Derives the food means from whom you got the food, means you are making food by your own or you are dependent on other organism. Utilizing the food means digestion of the food. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and nutrition is nothing but taking food and using it for energy. Okay, sir, why you require food? Tell me na, because the main thing is food na,
Yes.
and we require food for our growth, development, energy production, repair of a damaged tissue.
Hmm.
Okay, you understand what do you mean by nutrition?
Okay.
Nutrition
Understood.
means two things. Okay, then come to nutrients. Sir, nutrients both are same? No. Nutrition means the process through which we took food and utilizing food, derive food and utilizing food. But nutrients means component of the food. Means in our food, what are the components are available? You heard about carbohydrate? Did you heard about? Okay, protein,
Basic form of sugar.
fat, vitamins, minerals, fiber. These are nothing but component of a food. Okay, sir. Why you require carbohydrate? Carbohydrate basically available on rice, roti. Okay, sugar substances that having carbohydrate. Our body require carbohydrate for energy. Whatever for doing you are doing, you require food, na? Suppose listen, after running 200 meter, after 2 kilometer, immediately you require some energy, na? And
Yes, sir.
the glucose, when you feel weak, immediately you drink glucose and you got energy. That is because of a carbohydrate. The glucose which is available on the market, that is full with the carbohydrate. Okay. Then protein. Look, for your growth, 1 year ago your weight is suppose 70 kg. Now you are 75 kg. How this growth happens? Because you are eating protein. Protein means like chicken, egg,
Yes.
soybean, that having protein inside this. Then fat stores energy. Vitamins you know, minerals you know, fiber you know. This is the meaning of a nutrients. Okay.
Mm. Huh.
Then come to types of nutrients. But what do you mean by types of nutrients? In nutrition, two things are covering, na? Derive the food,
Yes.
derive the food, and utilizing the food, and utilizing the
Food.
food. Sir, what do you mean by deriving food? Deriving food means you are getting food, you are making food by your own or depend on another organism. Based on this, nutrition is of two types. Nutrition is of two
Two
types.
types.
One is autotrophic nutrition and another one is heterotrophic nutrition.
Hmm.
Sorry, what do you mean by autotrophic? Autotrophic nutrition means make own food. The organism which performs autotrophic nutrition, they make their own food. They make food by their own. Okay?
Huh.
And the organism who make food by its own called autotrophs. Autotrophs. Okay?
Huh.
Their nutrition style means how they intaking food, that is called autotrophic nutrition. And the organism are called autotrophs. Auto means self. Auto means
Self.
self. Tropes means nourishment. Tropes means nourishment. Okay. The organism who make food by their own is called autotrophs, and the autotrophs nutrition is called the autotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophs means
Hmm.
who cannot make food. They depend on another organism. They depend on another organism, and the animal who performs heterotrophic nutrition is called heterotrophs. Is called heterotrophs.
Drops.
Human beings is an example of a heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, and our nutrition is called the heterotrophic nutrition. You understand these two things? Heterotrophs means human beings are heterotrophs. They cannot make food by their own. Heterotrophic nutrition means we depend on another organism. Then second thing, autotrophs are producer. Autotrophs are a producer, and heterotrophs are a consumer. Okay, think. Suppose
Producer.
I am writing here. Look, deer, sorry, grass, deer, deer,
Hmm.
and a lion. Look, this grass make their food by their own. This grass is eaten by
By
deer. This grass is eaten by deer. This deer is eaten by lion. Ultimately, tell me who is the producer? Grass, na? Because grass is making their own food. This grass is called producer, and the deer and lion is called a consumer. Producer means who produce food by performing some reaction. Consumer who directly eat producer. Directly or indirectly eat producer. Okay?
huh.
Then how autotrophs are making food by their own? They using simple substance. They using simple substance. Like if you took example of a plant. Plant make their food by their own. How they make their food by their own? By one process called photosynthesis. By one process called photosynthesis. For performing photosynthesis, plant require oxygen, plant require carbon dioxide, plant require water, and plant require chlorophyll. These are the simple substance. But heterotrophs use complex organic food. Complex organic food means carbon dioxide, carbohydrate, lipid, protein. We require this. Okay.
Hmm.
Example plants. Example animals. Autotrophs examples are plant, and heterotrophs examples are animals. Okay, you understand or having any doubt?
Understand.
Okay. Then come to types of autotrophic nutrition. Look, first nutrition. Nutrition is divided into two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Again, autotrophic nutrition are of two types. Autotrophic nutrition are of two types. One is photosynthetic nutrition. Photosynthetic nutrition. Another one is chemosynthetic nutrition. And this heterotrophic nutrition are of three types. Holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and parasitic nutrition. Okay. This is the hierarchy of nutrition. Nutrition are of two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition are of for the two types: uh, photosynthetic nutrition and chemosynthetic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition are of two types: holozoic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and
Hmm.
parasitic nutrition. Sir,
Parasite.
what do you mean by photosynthetic nutrition? Photosynthetic nutrition means food is prepared by using light energy. And photo is nothing but light. Photo is nothing but light.
Light.
And synthetic means release. Okay. Food is prepared here. The organism who are comes under photosynthetic nutrition, they uses light energy to get energy, to get food. Okay, they use light energy to prepare food, and they perform one process called photosynthesis. Okay, carbon dioxide, to perform photosynthesis they uses carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. Okay.
Huh.
Some of the example of photosynthetic nutrition, the organism who perform photosynthetic nutrition are green plant, cyanobacteria, it is one type of algae, and euglena. Okay, these are the three organisms. Several examples are there. Three you have to remember: green plants, cyanobacteria, and euglena. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Then come to chemosynthetic nutrition. Chemosynthetic nutrition.
Nutrition.
Chemo means chemical. Food is prepared using chemical energy. In photosynthetic, light energy, but in chemosynthetic, chemical energy. In
Chemical.
in photosynthetic, they require light energy.
Light energy.
But here the chemosynthetic nutrition don't having any sunlight. Energy come from chemical reaction. Some example like nitrifying bacteria. Okay, a leguminous plant root having some nitrifying bacteria. What they did,
Yeah.
they convert the oxygen that are available on the atmosphere to into, look, suppose this is atmosphere. In atmosphere oxygen available, nitrogen available, and other like carbon dioxide, helium वगैरह is available ना. Plant can directly consume carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
But plant never directly consume this nitrogen. To so some in leguminous plant some bacteria is present on the root that convert this nitrogen into the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrogen which can used by the plant. Okay.
Huh.
And during this process they make food by their own. Chemosynthetic nutrition, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then come to types of a heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition means, first you have to understand that what do you mean by heterotrophic nutrition means they cannot make food by their own. For food they depend on another organism. Okay, this is of three types. One is holozoic nutrition. Sir, what do you mean by holozoic nutrition? Organism feed by ingesting whole food material. Means human beings, we eat
हाँ
complex food. Actually this meaning is we eat complex food. Complex food means,
complex.
look, our body, inside our body, this complex food get digested. Look, any organism body that never use complex substances, okay, in the world there is no any organism that can use this complex substance. Actually our food is generally in complex substance, okay.
Hmm.
So some of the animal are there, they took this complex food inside our body, and inside our body they converted this complex food into simpler food, okay.
Hmm.
And
Okay, sir.
all these organism who took complex food and co- um, and digested inside the body, all the organism performs holozoic nutrition, okay.
Okay, sir.
Remember, in holozoic nutrition what is happening? Complex food,
Uh,
uh,
complex food.
we took complex food inside the body this complex food is converted into simpler food, okay.
Food. Okay, sir.
What are the example of a holozoic nutrition? Look, you know about herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, all are comes under holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition, all these organism performs holozoic nutrition. So that means human beings performing holozoic nutrition, yeah, because
Yeah.
first thing, we never make our food by your own, okay. We always depend upon plant or
Plant.
other organism. Second thing, we took complex food and inside our body this complex food is converted into simpler food, okay.
Food.
Ah. Sir, what do you mean by herbivorous? Eat only plant products like cow, goat, deer. What do you mean by carnivorous? Eat flesh, meat of other animals like lion, tiger, eagle. These are you already know in your junior classes. Omnivorous, eat both plant and animals. Human, boy, crow. All these animals are performing holozoic nutrition. Okay, and
Yes.
and in the world there are some unicellular organism that also performing holozoic nutrition. Means they are unicellular, but they took food they took complex food from outside the environment and inside the body they converted into simpler substance, okay. Only remember holozoic means
Okay.
complex food, we took complex food inside our body and inside our body we converted into simpler substance, okay.
Hmm.
Then come to next type of heterotrophic nutrition, that is saprophytic nutrition. Saprophytic nutrition means, okay, organism who shows this nutrition is called saprotrophs, okay. The organism who is occurring food by saprophytic nutrition are called saprotrophs, okay. What they're doing, look,
Huh.
first I am showing you one example, one image, then you understand. Look, this is a cake. Are you
Yes.
looking? If you keep
Yeah.
a cake for few days, sometimes look, this color type, one fungus is coming na to destroy the cake. This fungus is nothing but
Bread
a
mold.
bread molds. This is nothing but a saprotrophs, okay. Your mushroom is also one example of a saprotrophs, okay.
Yes.
uh, Sir, what they did, look, organism feed on dead and decaying material. Dead means मृत, decaying means जो खराब हो जाना,
Dead.
हाँ. Look, what they did, complex food is available outside the body. Look,
Hmm.
complex food, any food that is complex, okay. Actually in holozoic nutrition what is happening, we took this complex food to our body, then we digest inside our body. But in saprophytic nutrition, they converted this complex food into simpler food outside their body, then take
Body.
then take Okay, we took complex food and inside our body we converted into simpler substance. But in case of a saprophytic nutrition, they converted this complex food into simpler food outside the body. Means digestion is happening outside, externally. Here digestion is happening internally. Okay,
Internally.
this is the main difference between holozoic and saprophytic nutrition. Most of the fungi like bread mold, mushroom, yeast, all decomposers. Remember, all decomposers. Decomposer means those organisms who converted bio product into, who degrade bioproduct usable. And remember, some bacteria like E. coli also performs by saprophytic nutrition. Okay, you understand? The main difference between holozoic and saprophytic is holozoic to complex food into their body, complex food to body.
Into their body.
They did not take. Saprophytic did not take. Digestion is happening internally. Digestion is happening inside the body. But here digestion is happening outside the body.
Body.
Then the next is a E. coli. Sorry, parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition means, remember, the organism who perform this nutrition is called parasite. Okay. 100% you heard about head loss. Head loss.
Yes.
It is also a parasite. What they did, organism derive nutrition from plant or animal without killing them. Actually, look, they are
Leeches.
leeches. They are staying inside one host body, inside a one host body. And suppose human beings, suppose human beings, suppose leech. I am taking one parasitic example, leech, and host is this leech is called parasite. This leech is called a parasite, and the human beings is called a host. Host means the body on which they are staying, on the body on which on
They are going to stay.
the parasite are staying. Look, in our body we have the method to convert complex food into simpler food.
Yes.
This parasite directly took this simpler food from our body. Okay, you understand?
Mm. Yes.
Some of the example. And remember, there is a plant called cuscuta. There is a plant called, okay, you know about tapeworm, leech, head louse. You know these are the parasite. But there is a plant called cuscuta that is also a parasitic plant. Parasitic plant means they depend upon another organism host body to get their food. Look, I am showing you the image. Cuscuta. Where is the cuscuta? This is, look. This is the cuscuta, the yellow color. The green color are a host plant.
Host plant.
But the yellow color plant are called the cuscuta. Okay. If such type question may come in your exam, what do you mean by cuscuta? Cuscuta is a parasitic plant. Okay. Parasitic plant means for nutrition they show parasitic nutrition. They show parasitic nutrition. Number one, it is a heterotrophic plant, and in heterotrophic the nutrition type is a parasitic.
Parasite.
It is also called amorbel. It is also called amorbel. Okay, if you look the diagram, look, it is yellowish in color, na?
Yeah.
Why it is yellowish in color? Because chlorophyll is absent. Chlorophyll is absent. That's why their color is yellow color. That is in yellowish color. Then come to, okay, with this we completed types of nutrition. Nutrition is of two types: autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is again two types: photosynthetic nutrition and chemosynthetic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is of two types, three types: holozoic nutrition, then saprophytic nutrition and parasitic nutrition. Then come to photosynthetic autotrophic nutrition in plant. Now we have to understand how plant make food by their own. Look, autotrophic means those organisms who made food by their own. Photosynthetic means they use light energy. They use light energy to make their food. Okay.
uh,
Look, a type of autotrophic nutrition in which organism prepares their own food by utilizing light energy. Ah, you know about this, na? What do you mean by photosynthetic autotrophic nutrition? Then the question is site of a photosynthesis. Site of a photosynthesis mean plant having many part. A plant having leaf, a plant having root, a plant having shoot. Okay. So in which plant photosynthesis, in which part photosynthesis is happening? Means my question is photosynthesis happening in all part of the plant? No.
no.
Big no. Only green plant. Only green plant. Green part of the plant. If someone asks you the question, what is the site of photosynthesis in plant? You have to say green part of the plant. So what do you mean by green part? Green plant, green part means chlorophyll containing part. Chlorophyll containing part. Sorry, again tell me what do you mean by chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is nothing but a green color pigment which is helping to trap sunlight. Which is helping to trap sunlight. So what is, then this chlorophyll is present in a cell organelles called chloroplast. Okay, means number one thing, photosynthesis process is happening in the green part of the plant. Okay, this green part is containing one pigment called chlorophyll, this chlorophyll
Fail.
is present inside chloroplast. Okay.
Last.
Example leaves. Actually your photosynthesis process is happening inside leaves. Just second, I am showing you one picture of a plant as of leaf. Look, this is the picture of a leaf. Look, the outer, look, covering is called a lamina. It's called a lamina, and inside this
Line.
a straight line is showing. This is called midrib. This is called a midrib. Look, actually, if you took one leaf, the outer covering is made up of one types of tissue called epidermis. Our skin also made up of one type of tissue called epidermis. Okay. Hello.
Huh.
Plant leaf is covered by, this is the ts means interior of a leaf. The leaf is covered by both the side by epidermis is nothing but a tissue.
Tissue.
Our skin also made by epidermis. Inside this epidermis, the top epidermis is called upper epidermis, the lower epidermis is called lower epidermis. Okay.
Huh.
Inside these many cells are available. So you think na, inside our upper skin and inside our below skin many cells are available na? Like this in plant leaf, upper dermis, between upper dermis and lower dermis contain many cells, and
Cell.
this part is called a mesophyll. This part is called a mesophyll. Mesophyll.
Field.
And look, inside this mesophyll, look, total area is called a mesophyll. Inside this mesophyll, two types of cell are finding. One is palisade mesophyll, one is spongy mesophyll. Okay. Palisade
Huh.
palisade mesophylls are elongated in structure, and spongy mesophyll is circular in structure. That means the area between upper epidermis and lower epidermis inside the leaf is called mesophyll. Is called but contain mesophyll cell. This mesophyll cell is again of two types. One is palisade mesophyll and one is spongy mesophyll. Look, inside both mesophyll tissue, look how many chloroplast are available, and inside chloroplast chlorophyll is available. and this chlorophyll performing photosynthesis process. Okay. In palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll are two type of a special cell whose work is performing photosynthesis. Okay. Then come to photosynthesis chemical reaction. Okay. You have to remember the equation. What is the equation? Photosynthetic equation. Just wait 1 second. Look, this is the chemical reaction of a photosynthesis. Look, 6 carbon molecule plus 6 hydrogen molecules, they react each other in chlorophyll in presence of a light energy to form glucose. This is nothing but your glucose. Okay, plus 6H2O. Okay, this is called the photosynthesis chemical reaction. Means 6 carbon molecule, 6 hydrogen molecule react with each other in presence of a sunlight. In chlorophyll. The above is showing where the chemical reaction is happening, and the below is showing in presence of a whom, to form glucose. C6H12O6, that is the chemical name of a glucose. This is nothing but glucose, or glucose is our food, plus 6 oxygen plus 6H2O. Okay, this is the chemical reaction of a photosynthesis. You have to remember, if photosynthesis long question is coming, you have to write this equation. You understand this equation? Okay. Then steps of a photosynthesis. In note here, the reaction is not available. You have to write. Okay. Steps of photosynthesis. What is happening inside a photosynthesis process? Look, two reactions are happening in the photosynthesis process. One is light reaction, one is light reaction, and another is dark reaction. Light reaction means it is light dependent. Means this reaction is happening in presence of a sunlight. And dark means independent of light. This reaction is happening without the sunlight. Okay, try to understand. Number 1 step, absorption of a light energy by chlorophyll. Look, this is sun, sun, and this is a plant leaf. Okay, first thing, this sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll. Okay, mean chlorophyll is responsible for absorbing sunlight. This is the step number 1 inside photosynthesis, or particularly in light reaction. Conversion of a light energy to chemical energy and the splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, look, in first step, the sunlight is trapped by chlorophyll. In second step, the conversion of a light energy to chemical energy. This light energy, sunlight, is converted into chemical energy. It is a light energy, na? Then it is converted into chemical energy to form ATP. ATP is the energy molecule inside our body. And then then splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Then by using this energy, we are trying to break this water molecule. Because look the equation, na? You require 6 carbon dioxide molecule, 6 water molecule to form glucose, to form one glucose molecule. And when this C6H12O6, when glucose molecule is forming, oxygen is releasing and water is also releasing. Look, first thing, light energy is absorbed by chlorophyll. Second thing, convert light energy into chemical energy. Third thing, split this water molecule. Split this water molecule. Water molecule split into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, these two things are happening in a light reaction. You understand?
Yes.
And for doing these two steps you require light energy. That's why it is called light reaction. That's why it is called the light reaction.
Reaction.
Then come to dark phase or dark reaction. After this, what is happening? Reduction of a carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. What do you mean by reduction? You know about reduction? Like,
Reduction.
no. Reduction. There are several types of reaction are there. In your chemistry first chapter, we will learn that things.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Combination reaction, decomposition reaction. You heard about this, na?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes.
There one type of a chemical reaction we will learn reduction. Reduction means when hydrogen is adding with someone. If hydrogen is adding, okay, or oxygen is removing. These two things is called a reduction reaction. When hydrogen is adding with the element to form a compound, this is called a reduction reaction. So what happening? Look, 6 carbon molecule plus 6 water molecules. Now this water molecules is break down into hydrogen and oxygen. This oxygen is getting out from the plant body. This hydrogen is now reacting with this carbon dioxide molecule to form C6H12O6. Here hydrogen molecule is reacting na, adding na. That's why it is
Yes.
called a reduction reaction. Okay, reduction of a carbon dioxide to carbohydrate means this hydrogen molecule which is formed from the breakdown of a water molecules is react with a carbon dioxide to make carbohydrate. This is happening independent of light. With this, the step number 3 does not require light to happening. That's why it is called dark reaction. You understand?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the steps of a photosynthesis. If steps of photosynthesis is coming, you have to write like this. Then come to source and fares of a components in photosynthesis. Okay, look, for performing photosynthesis, what you require? Sunlight,
Yeah.
water, carbon dioxide. Okay, look.
Carbon dioxide,
Ah,
air.
look, light energy is available in sun.
Air.
You get light energy from sun, water from
Yeah.
soil, especially by root.
Yeah.
Okay. Carbon dioxide, it is available in atmosphere. Okay, sometime you require nitrogen also. Okay, nitrogen in form of nitrates and nitrites from soil. How plant get nitrogen? From the soil by converting nitrates and nitrites. Glucose stored as in form of a starch. Means after doing this we make glucose na.
Yeah.
In photosynthesis, what is the final product? Glucose na.
Mm.
This glucose is stored in form of a starch. Then sir, what do you mean by starch? Look, starch is a complex carbohydrate stored in plant as a reserve food. Look, one glucose molecule is forming in a photosynthesis reaction. Like this, suppose thousand of a glucose molecule are there. Combiningly, this is called starch. Starch is nothing but polymer of a carbohydrate. It is a complex substance. Okay, look, glucose is the simplest substance. Glucose is the
Citrus substance.
simplest substance, whereas starch is a complex substance. This is called polymer of a glucose. Okay,
Glucose.
look, in plant this glucose is stored in form of a starch, but if you consider human beings, the glucose is stored in form of a glycogen. The glycogen, starch is nothing but complex substance. Okay, look,
Yes.
now I am doing my work. Am I eating? No, na. In morning I am eating, na. That means
Yes.
after eating, digestion process, then assimilation, the several processes are happening. Then this glucose is stored in form of a glycogen. And when I am doing my work, I converted this glycogen into glucose. Okay, and use it. Remember, in plant, finally the carbohydrate or glucose is stored in form of a starch, and in animal it is stored in human beings, it is stored in glycogen, particularly in liver cell. Okay.
Huh.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, in liver cell we store this glycogen.
Hmm.
Then come to one important thing, that is stomata. Just wait, I am showing you some diagram. Okay, the diagram is not here. Okay, stomata and its function. Okay, in photosynthesis process, one thing uh, we cover, that is carbon dioxide is present outside the environment. Na?
Huh.
Plant should take this carbon dioxide. Na?
Hmm.
How plant take this carbon dioxide? By using one tiny pore like structure called stomata. Okay, now we have to learn about stomata and its function. Stomata are tiny pore like structure present on surface of leaf. Suppose it is a leaf. Suppose it is a leaf. Small tiny pore present on the surface of a stomata. Sorry, leaf is
Huh.
called a stomata. Then what is the function of a stomata? One function you know. Exchange of gases during photosynthesis and respiration. Look, in photosynthesis, what is happening? Look, in photosynthesis, if someone asks you the question, what do you mean by stomata? Stomata is the tiny pore present on the surface of a leaf. Wow. What are the function of a stomata? They perform two functions. They perform two function.
Huh.
One is transpiration. One is transpiration, and another is
Hmm.
exchange of gases. Sir,
Huh.
what do you mean by exchange of gases? Look, in photosynthesis, plant take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Release oxygen.
Oxygen.
But in respiration, plant took oxygen. Plant took
Hmm.
oxygen and release carbon dioxide. This is called exchange of gases. And exchange of gases is required for two process two processes, photosynthesis and respiration. You have to remember, in photosynthesis, taking carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. And respiration, generally respiration means taking carbon dioxide, taking oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Okay.
Huh.
Then second thing, transpiration. Actually, look, loss of water from the surface of a plant in form of water vapor due to evaporate. You know about evaporation? It is a process through which water converted into water vapors automatically.
Hmm. Hmm.
These two things are performing by stomata. Okay,
Hmm. Huh.
exchange of gases and transpiration. Then come to photosynthesis in desert plant. Before going to this, we have to learn about guard cell. Guard cell. Look, this is stomata. This is stomata.
Tomato.
The stomata is covered by guard cell. The stomata is covered by guard cell.
God.
Guard cell. And it is kidney bean like structure. It is kidney bean.
Hmm.
Okay. Then what is its work? Look, guard cell also having chloroplast. Means inside this also a photosynthesis process is happening. Look. In one image, stomata is opening. In another image, stomata is closed. This opening and closing is done by guard cell, is done by guard cell, because you remember, look, if this opening and closing is not guard by guard cell, water losses frequently happening in the plant. And you remember, plant, for plant cell, water is the most important thing. Okay, so
Hmm.
it is like our door. Means someone is coming, open the door, and if someone is trying to go out from the cell, as you go out from the home, open the door like this. Look, the opening and closing of the pore is controlled by kidney bean shaped cell called guard cell. Okay, if someone asks you the question, the opening and closing of stomata is done by whom? Guard cell. Done by whom? Guard cell. How this is happening? By how? Look,
Hmm.
this is the, suppose this is the opening of stomata. Look how stomata is opening. This is two guard cell. This is two.
Guard cell.
Just a minute. Just. This is two guard cell. Now they are closing the stomata. When water goes inside this, when water goes inside this, the guard cell will swell. वो क्या हो जाएंगे? स्वेल हो जाएंगे.
हाँ.
जिससे क्या होगा? स्टोमाटा ओपनिंग हो जाएगा. ओके,
हाँ.
and the water going to inside the guard cell is called the endoosmosis. When endoosmosis is happening, means water going inside the guard cell, the guard cell will swell up and stomata will open. Stomata will open.
Open.
Look, now stomata is opening. Now stomata is opening. This is two guard cell. This guard cell is swell up, and the this is called the opening of the stomata. Now water is coming from the guard cell, means exosmosis. The guard cell is going to shrink, means सिकुड़ जाएगा. That time, look, the guard cell is coming closer to each other,
Hmm.
and stomata is closed. Okay, you understand about guard cell? Remember, the opening and closing of the stomata should be controlled. Should be controlled. Otherwise, plant will lose much more water. Okay. This is done by whom? This is done by whom? This guard cell. This guard cell note is not in your note. You have to write down by watching the video. Okay. Then come to photosynthesis in desert plant. Sir, I understand. In plain area, water is available. Sufficiently water is available in inside the soil, na? So plant uses this water. Your voice is a little bit low for me.
Is it proper now, sir?
Yeah. Then how desert plant performing photosynthesis? But because they having less water, they having less water. Number one things, desert plant. Just a minute. Desert plant means, look some example of a desert plant. Like, look, this is a dead palm.
हाँ.
This is also one example of a desert plant. And cactus, look, cactus plant. Okay, these are the example of a desert plant. How photosynthesis is happening in a desert plant? I am watching. Where is the photo? This is the photo. This desert plant is also called xerophytes. Okay, bryophytes, xerophytes. You heard about this word. Closed stomatal pore during daytime to prevent loss of water. Actually, what happening? They always try to close their stomata during daytime. Okay, if they close stomata during the daytime, then how will they consume carbon dioxide? Because two things is happening, na? Transpiration and exchange of a gas. For controlling transpiration, desert plant close their stomata during daytime. Then how will you get carbon dioxide? In night time you can get carbon dioxide, but you never get light energy, na? The problem you understand?
Yes.
First problem is less water. Due to prevent less water, they close their stomata. They close their stomata during daytime. If you close stomata, then you cannot intake carbon dioxide during daytime. So you can say, sir, during night time they can take carbon dioxide, na? But during night time sunlight is not available. If this many problem is happening, then how photosynthesis is happening in desert plant? In desert plant.
Plant.
No. Night and day processes note. What happening in night? What happening in day? Look. In night, stomata open. Look. In night, stomata open. Carbon dioxide is available in air every time, na? They take carbon dioxide. They took carbon dioxide into their leaf. Water absorbed from roots, or water is available every time inside the soil, na? Then carbon dioxide combine in the plant and forms an intermediate. Look, during night time, this carbon dioxide and oxygen react with each other to form one intermediate. That is called malic acid. That is called malic acid. And they store this malic acid inside vacuole. Vacuole is nothing but a cell organelles. Okay. Look, this is happening in night time. In night time, plant open their stomata in desert plant and take carbon dioxide and take water, and by reacting water and carbon dioxide, they making one intermediate called malic acid, and they store this malic acid in vacuoles. This is happening in night time in desert plant. In daytime, stomata closed. Daytime stomata closed to prevent the water.
Yes.
Malic acid breakdown and malic acid breakdown and release carbon dioxide. This malic acid, because in daytime what is the problem? If stomata is closed, they cannot take carbon dioxide, na?
Yes, sir.
So they break down malic acid, which is stored in the vacuoles, and from this carbon dioxide is released. This carbon dioxide is used to prepare glucose by photosynthesis. Okay, you understand how xerophytes perform their photosynthesis? Hello, hello,
Hello, sir.
you understand?
Ah.
This is how xerophytes performs photosynthesis. This is the long question. Look, the long question is starting from here.
Step.
Photosynthesis in autotrophic plant, then site of photosynthesis, chemical reaction. You have to write the equation here. Then steps of photosynthesis. After photosynthesis, steps of photosynthesis, sources and fattest of component in photosynthesis. Then stomata and its function. Then photosynthesis in desert plant, night and day. What is happening? With this, we completed photosynthesis in a autotrophic plant. Okay.
Autotrophic plant.
Then come to nutrition in human beings, particularly in human beings. Okay. Number one things, our nutrition type is heterotrophic, particularly holozoic. In heterotrophic, three types are there. Holozoic means we took complex food from outside to our body, and inside our body we complete the digestion. Digestion means convert this complex food into simpler. Digestion is nothing but converting the complex food. Complex food means the food that is not used by our body directly. Simpler food means, are look, suppose I am giving you 1 kg atta.
Ah.
Can you eat? No. After making roti you can able to eat like this.
Yes, sir.
Means this atta is nothing but our complex food, and the roti is nothing but simpler food. In general purpose I am telling. Okay. Then
Yeah.
nutrition in human beings, particularly our nutrition type is holozoic nutrition. Uh, 5 steps of a holozoic nutrition in human being. In human being, this holozoic nutrition is performed by 5 steps. One is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, digestion. These are the 5 sub processes inside the holozoic nutrition of a human beings. Ingestion means taking food.
Ah.
So outside the body, food is available. You have to take inside your body by the help of a mouth. That is called ingestion. Okay.
ingestion.
Digestion, breakdown of a complex food substance into smaller soluble food substance. Too many times I'm telling you what I mean by digestion. Absorption means, look, this digestion is happening in small intestine. In a small intestine, and from the small intestine, it's the digested food should go to each part of the cell. Na?
Hmm.
This is called absorption. Digested food is absorbed into body cell. What do you mean by assimilation? Absorbed food is used to provide energy or form new protoplasm. Oh, why this digested food is absorbed from one place to another place? It should be used na, to provide energy to form new protoplasm. Protoplasm means the cell content, to form the cell content. This is called assimilation. And the last, after using the food by the cell, some waste product is
Huh.
creating. It should be removed from our body. This is called egestion.
Yes.
Okay, means human beings nutrition is happening by the help of a 5 sub processes. Look, this is the order:
Hmm.
ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, egestion. Ingestion means taking food. Digestion means breakdown of a food. Absorption means uh, taking food from small intestine to different part of the cell. Then using that food to secrete
Yeah.
to secrete energy. And egestion means waste products should be removed from our body. Then come to
Yes.
human digestive system. Now we have to learn human digestive system.
System. Hello, sir.
Yeah, just wait. Human digestive system. First, you have to remember this is the steps in human nutrition. This is the step in human nutrition. In mouth, what is happening? In esophagus or food pipe, what is happening? In stomach, what is happening? In small intestine, what is happening? In large intestine, what is happening? In digestion, in rectum and anus, what is happening? Okay. Then look this diagram. Just wait. This is the diagram. Look, human digestive system. Human digestive system consists of two parts, mainly two parts. One is alimentary canal, one is accessory organ or associated organ. Sir, what do you mean by
Organ.
alimentary canal? A long hollow tube. A long hollow means inside the tube there should be space. Okay, and look, this is a hollow tube.
Hmm.
There is nothing
Yes.
inside this tube. Our digestive system is divided into two parts: alimentary canal and accessory organ. Alimentary canal is nothing but a long hollow tube which contain organs through which the food actually passes. Look, we are taking food by help of our mouth, na? From mouth, it should come to stomach. Look, it is the mouth. Mouth is also called buccal cavity. We perform
Yeah.
ingestion. Ingestion means taking food by the help of mouth, na? From mouth,
Hmm.
it should come to esophagus. Esophagus means it is a tube. Then it should come to stomach. Then it should from stomach it should come to small intestine. It is small intestine. From small intestine it should go to large intestine. From large intestine the waste product should remove by the anus. Okay, this is the
Yes.
this is the passage of a food. Passage of food means from mouth to anus. How it come? By the help of one canal called alimentary canal.
Hmm.
Anim- Alimentary canal includes esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and different parts. Look, esophagus content, this is mouth. After mouth, esophagus, then stomach, then small intestine, then large intestine, then anus. Okay? And
Huh.
for performing digestion, some accessory organ. Accessory organ means, look, there the food is, look. First, we have to accessory organs or associated organ that help in digestion, but no food passes through them. Look, food is actually passes through alimentary canal. The food never goes to this accessory organ, but they help in digestion. Like look, salivary gland. Then here you look liver, pancreas, gallbladder. They help for digestion. The food never goes to this organs. Okay,
Yes.
you understand?
Huh.
This is the figure in which we represent the alimentary canal part. Alimentary canal means the hollow part through which food passes.
Hmm.
Then there are some accessory organ. Accessory organ means the organ through which
Huh.
food does not passes. They help in digestion, like liver, pancreas, salivary gland. Okay,
Hmm. Okay,
look.
sir.
If someone asks the difference between alimentary canal and accessory organ, food passes through it, food does not passes through it.
Huh.
Main digestive passage help in digestion, means help digestion is happening in alimentary canal, and accessory organ help them for digestion. Look,
Hmm.
if you look the diagram, if you look the diagram,
Diagram.
look, the alimentary canal starting from mouth.
Mouth.
Then now we have to learn what is happening with the food inside mouth, inside esophagus, inside stomach, inside small intestine, inside large intestine. Okay, means what changes occurring with the food during this travel. Okay,
Huh.
look, first one is mouth. First one is mouth. What is happening inside mouth? Ingestion, you know, taking food.
Yes.
Then chemical digestion, mechanical digestion. That means, sir, digestion is starting from mouth. Yeah, digestion is
Yeah.
starting from mouth, ending at a large intestine.
Hmm.
Okay, sorry, small intestine. If someone asks you the question, when we eat food, the digestion is starting from which part of alimentary canal? You have to tell mouth.
Hmm.
You have to tell mouth. Okay,
Huh.
look, mouth is also called as buccal cavity. Mouth is also called as a buccal
Huh.
cavity. How this complex food converted into simpler food we are going to learn. Then function of the mouth in digestion. In digestion, what mouth is doing? First is ingestion, you know, ingestion, taking
Hmm.
the food. Then the second thing is food is ingested through the mouth. This is the first work. Second is food is crossed and chewed, which is called
Huh.
mastication with the help of teeth. Look, we are eating rice.
Huh.
We are eating rice. Suppose this is the rice particle. This is the size of a rice particle. By the help of
Hmm.
a teeth, we crossed and chewed the food particle and converted into smaller particle. Converted into smaller particle.
Particle.
It is like a grinder. Okay.
Huh.
Huh.
Okay, sir.
For chewing and crossing or mastication, we did by the help of a teeth. We have four type of teeth. We have four type of teeth. Do you know about this? Molar. How many type of
Molar.
teeth we have? Molar, premolar,
Premolar. Epa.
canine, incisor. Incisor.
Huh.
This is the four type of teeth. By the help of our teeth, we crossed or chewed the complex food into the particle of the food, larger particle of the food into smaller particle. Okay.
Huh.
Then the tongue helps in, because inside mouth tongue is here, teeth is crossing or chewing. What is uh,
Uh,
hmm,
chewing.
yeah,
I mean.
mastication. Okay.
Hmm.
Then the tongue helps in tasting food. The tongue is a muscle. Tongue is nothing but a muscle. Which type of muscle? Voluntary muscle. Voluntary muscle means this movement is on your hand. Suppose I am
Hmm.
talking now. My muscle is working. When I stop, it also stop. And their second work is and its function is taste. Taste the food. It have a taste buds. It have taste buds. By the help of this,
Okay.
it is we tasting the food. Then the second important thing, mixing food with saliva.
Mixing.
Mixing food with saliva. That means if you look the accessory organ, there is a gland called salivary gland, na? Salivary gland releases saliva. The saliva is mixing by the help of a tongue in a with food. Okay.
food. Huh.
And then why this saliva should mix with the food? Because it should be
Huh.
go to the stomach. It should be go to the stomach. Suppose some solid substance is there for traveling inside pipe. It is hard, na? If you mix with some jelly substance, when it becomes jelly like substance, it is engulfed to the stomach. Okay.
Hmm.
Do you understand what is happening inside mouth?
Yes, sir.
Mastication
Huh.
and a mixing of saliva. Mixing with the saliva. Food is mixing with the saliva. Then salivary gland and chemical digestion. Because here you have to understand about salivary gland. It is not part of a alimentary canal. It is the accessory organ. The food is not going to a salivary gland, but it helps in digestion. Digestion.
Digest.
Salivary gland. Salivary gland produce saliva. Actually, look, in our mouth, salivary glands are present. Present. Look, salivary glands, mucous glands, then sweat glands in our screen. Sweat glands are present. Glands means that secrete something. Okay, thyroid gland, pituitary gland. There are several glands in our body. You have learn in later. Salivary gland secretes saliva. Secrete saliva.
Saliva.
Saliva contain one enzyme that is called salivary amylase.
Amide.
Salivary amylase or tyalin, or we call it as tyalin. Okay.
Huh.
The salivary amylase function is it converted the starch. Action of salivary amylase. Starch is a complex sugar carbohydrate. Salivary amylase breaks starch into maltose. What is happening when we are eating the food?
Hmm.
In the food, starch is available. Starch means complex sugar. It should be breakdown. So in our mouth, the saliva which contains salivary amylase enzyme that break down this starch into maltose. Maltose is a simple sugar. Okay. Now you understand what happening inside mouth. Inside mouth. Look this diagram. Uh, Look what is happening inside the mouth. Ingestion. Chemical digestion means, look, salivary gland secrete salivary amylase. Salivary amylase converted the starch into maltose. This is nothing but chemical, na? This is happening by chemical, na? So in mouth, this is the example of a chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion means, look, our teeth chew the food particle and converted into a smaller particle, na? Here no chemical reaction is happening, but converting bigger particle into smaller particle. This is called mechanical digestion. Okay.
Huh.
This is happening inside our mouth. Look, this is the figure of our alimentary canal. Look, the initially mouth, then this pipe is called the oesophagus or food pipe. Then the oesophagus is opening into one J-shaped organ called the stomach. Then look, this stomach is connected with this red like structure called small intestine. Actually, look, small intestine and large intestine, don't be confused. Small intestine means its length is greater than large intestine,
Yeah.
but its width is less. That's why it is called small intestine. Okay. And this is called large intestine, and the last part is called anus. Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Then come to oesophagus or food pipe. You understand what is happening with food inside mouth? Ingestion,
Yes.
mastication, then chemical digestion. Here is the it is the Example of a mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion. It is the example of a chemical digestion. And you remember salivary gland contain one enzyme called the salivary amylase. Okay.
Hmm.
A salivary amylase help the to break down the complex sugar into simpler
Simpler substance.
substance. This is the reaction. Then food pipe. Then the next elementary canal part is a food pipe. Food is pushed downward due to rhythmic contraction and relaxation of muscles. This movement is called peristaltic movement. Look, this is a food pipe. Inside food pipe, nothing is happening. Okay, remember, digestion starting from mouth means food is some changing inside mouth. Inside esophagus, there is no change in food. Only it is a road. It is a road. By using this, the food is reaching from mouth to stomach. Mouth to stomach. Then how food is going? How food is going? Is it going by a car, vehicle? No, no. How food is going? Rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Rhythmic contraction and relaxation. I am showing you an example. With a picture, you understand. Look. Now the food is here. कंट्रैक्शन मीन्स चिपक जाना. कंट्रैक्शन मीन्स चिपक जाना. ये ऊपर वाला क्या करेंगे? चिपक जाएंगे. नीचे वाला क्या होंगे? ओपनिंग हो जाएगा. तो फूड क्या होगा? नीचे आ जाएगा. फूड क्या होगा? नीचे हो जाएगा. This movement is called peristalsis. Peristalsis means the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of muscles inside esophagus or food pipe is called peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Okay, and there is no change in food in esophagus. esophagus के अंदर फूड में कुछ भी चेंज नहीं होगा.
Yes.
Look this. In esophagus there is no change. Food pushes down here, peristalsis. Okay. Then come to third part, stomach. Third part, stomach.
Stomach.
First you have to look the stomach image. This is the stomach image. Okay, interior of stomach, it is J-shaped. It is J-shaped. Look, stomach is a large J-shaped organ. You understand? The here also two type of digestion is happening. Mechanical and chemical. Mechanical means no chemical reaction that takes place. Look, mechanical digestion, the churning of a food inside the stomach is done by the muscular wall of the stomach. What is happening? Look, inside stomach, two types of digestion is happening. One is mechanical, one is chemical. Mechanical means, look, when food is coming from esophagus to here, this wall is pushing, contract, relax, pushing, pulling. Okay, due to this, some food particle becomes in small particle, converted into small particle. This is how stomach do their mechanical digestion. This mechanical digestion is inside the stomach is called churning of food. Okay, then come to chemical digestion. It is important. Look, the chemical digestion. Gastric juice. Gastric glands secrete a digestive fluid called gastric juice. Look, here many glands are available. This gland is called the gastric gland. On the lining of a stomach lining में there are several gastric glands are available. This gastric gland secrete gastric juice. This gastric gland secrete gastric juice. This gastric juice contain three component. Number one, pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme that break down protein. If you remember, saliva contain salivary amylase that helps to convert carbohydrate, the starch, into maltose. Here you look pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme that found inside the gastric juice of stomach that breaks down protein. Then look, this pepsin can work inside a acidic condition. This pepsin require one acidic condition to activate. So inside gastric juice, another component is hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid work is make the medium acidic. Why this make the medium acidic? To start the pepsin, to activate the pepsin. Third thing. Then what is the another use of HCl? Helps in disinfection of a food by killing germs. Or our food having different types of microorganisms that can help harm our body, na. So this microorganism or germs is killing by HCl, by hydrochloric acid. Then the third thing is mucus. You think hydrochloric acid is acidic in nature, okay? That can provide harm to our lining of the stomach. So this mucus protect inner lining of the stomach. मीन्स ये जो स्टोमक के अंदर वाला एरिया को ना हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड से कौन सेव करता है? म्यूकस. ओके, लुक एक्चुअली डाइजेशन में क्या हो रहा है? व्हाट इज हैपनिंग डाइजेशन? the starch should converted into glucose, because starch is a complex substance, glucose is a complex substance, it's a simpler substance. This protein should convert, what is inside our food? Either carbohydrate, either whatever you eating, there are, look, component of food na, either carbohydrate, nor protein, nor fat. These three are a complex substance. It should be converted into simpler. Carbohydrate is the complex substance, glucose is the simpler substance. Okay, protein is the complex substance, amino acid is the simpler substance, fat is the complex substance, fatty acid or glycerol is the fatty acid or glycerin is the simpler substance. We are converting only this, but during digestion this carbohydrate is converted into glucose, protein is converted into amino acid, fat is converted into fatty acid or glycerin. Okay,
हाँ सर.